Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Mandi Grace, author of 10 young adult novels so far, one of which recently published. This is apparently an unboxing video to hold isolation in my hands for the first time in a long time. The first of the new, well, okay. Let me explain. If you don't know anything about me, let me just start at the beginning. Okay, so I published this book, Isolated, back in 2016, which I wrote when I was like 19 or something. I don't remember. No idea. Anyway, I was younger than I am now. I wrote it, I self-published it. It's the first in a trilogy. And I love it a lot. And then in 2022, which was years later, 8 years later, I decided to rewrite and republish all of the books that I had self-published as a late teenager, early 20s person, because they were all published under Mandi Grace, and I wanted to move them over to the Mandi Grace brand. And while I was doing that, I was going to rewrite them and make them books that I could actually be proud of and not embarrassed to hold and think that other people were reading, and it was a whole thing. Anyway, so we rewrote all the Robin Hood books. It was a whole adventure. And now we're doing the dystopian trilogy, and then we'll be done with the rewrites. But anyway, just published Isolation, which is what it's called now. And I had intended to do an unboxing when I got the book, but it took forever to come. And then today I was opening other packages, which are for preschool, which is my day job, and I was just happily opening packages and like looking at puzzles and games and preschooly things, and then I opened a package and was like, that's a book, and immediately shut it. And I'm pretty sure it's my book. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is, so I panicked and picked up the camera, and now we're filming an unboxing, which I was not ready for, in the mood for, and was not prepared, so give me a second. Am I short enough? Does this work? Hopefully you can see me. This is the package that I've already opened, and there's a book in here. I'm 99% sure. Oh yeah, there is. Oh, yeah. It's still so small, though. I thought it'd be bigger, honestly. I mean, not super big, but hold on, let me get the original. 1 second. Oh, yeah, no, this is smaller. Yeah, okay. It's definitely bigger. I thought it'd be like bigger though, because it's I mean, content almost doubled in size. Oh my goodness, it looks so pretty though. Let me stop worrying about how small it is. Oh, it's a little crooked on the back. That might need assistance. Isolation. She's so pretty. Wow. Best book I've ever written. This is wild to me. I thought it would be bigger. Like bigger. Let's see. This is 110 pages. And this is 160. Yeah. I mean, that is bigger. In my head, I was imagining it being bigger. I mean, it's still a small book. I don't think it even cracked 50K. I'd have to look at my computer. Because she's itty bitty. She's always been an itty bitty little thing. Novella situation. Now I have to put her on my shelf. What am I gonna do? Also, side note, I have to order Isolation by Jared Grace, because when I published my Isolation, Amazon decided that Jared Grace's Isolation and my Isolation were the same book? Or we were the same author? I don't know. They put us together. And then we had to make ourselves not together anymore. But it was just like such a weird coincidence that I have to buy his Isolation now, because I have I have Return to Grace. When I published Return to Grace, and another gal also published a Return to Grace on the exact same day, like, I had to get it. And they sit together on my shelf. So now I need Isolation to sit with this Isolation. But I keep forgetting to order it. I need to do that. Okay, we have to find... This might turn into a thing. We have to find a place for this beauty. Just look at her. Just look at her. We have to find a place for this beauty. On my very full shelf, which means I think we're finally either kicking me off the Shelf of Honor to a different Shelf of Honor, or kicking Bethany off the Shelf of Honor to a different Shelf of Honor, because we don't fit together currently, and it's about to get worse because I have this, and then the next 2 books in this series, and then eventually Messiah. Like, I can't share anymore. I've been sharing with Bethany for a while, but no more. This is the shelf. Let me put Isolated back where it belongs. Okay, do I want the new Finding Hope next to the old Finding Hope? Or do I want them in order the way I have, like, Robin Hood Dystopian? Robin Hood Dystopian? Yeah, I like that better. We're going that way. Then they're, like, in order of when I published them. Kind of. Except that these are much earlier. Okay. This is not going to work out. The problem is, if I take all of Bethany off of the shelf, it's a big empty spot that I have to fill. Maybe this is a different day's problem. Maybe we leave Bethany stacked on her side. Because listen, I don't really have a place for her to go. Okay, we have the classics of there. And then we had me and Bethany. And then I have Hedgie Sisters and other indie author. No, okay, not Tolkien. He doesn't count. He doesn't belong there. He's not. Those are borrowed books. Those are my dad's. Anyway, okay, indie author books, and then the fantasy books, which is where Tolkien would belong if it was mine, but it's not mine. And then down here we have Jeanette Oak books hiding behind the hedgehogs. Okay, and then we come over here and we have a few random classics next to the classics. That's fine. And then we have the rest of my fiction, which goes here, 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 to there. It's a weird little kitty corner. Oh, look, there's some more classics. And then the TBR of things I haven't read. And then children's books. And then Jesus nonfiction Bibles, commentaries. Zah. There's nowhere for Bethany to go here. And then I have my desk, which is King Arthur and various. This series is varied, but this is like King Arthur, dragons, researchy things, Arthurian myths, and then the rest of the series that's not Arthurian myths, but they have to be together because it's a series. And then Robin Hood, which is much smaller than King Arthur, Robin Hood. And then all of my craft books, writing related things, is this whole shelf. And then Bethany could go here. It appears this is where Bethany is going. I think this is what, or mine. It could just, like, mine could be on the shelf, but I don't think I want to be all the way over here. But if I do that, it leaves a giant gap, which I'll eventually fill with my books. But currently, while it's not filled with my books, what do I do with a giant gap? Because I don't put TBR things on the shelf until I read them. I mean, they're on this shelf, but they don't go anywhere else unless I read them, and then I put them where they belong. So those aren't going to move. And none of these other shelves, like, need things to move. You know what I mean? I don't know. I could put my brother's books that I still have not given him, that he bought who knows how long ago, on the shelf of my books. Because they are my books, even though they're his books. I don't know. I really love having Bethany here, and this is making me sad. Maybe I'll banish myself. But I don't like that either. I need a longer shelf so I can just keep the two of us together forever. I started to move Bethany and realized she is too tall for this shelf. So that's not going to happen. Because that requires moving shelves, and that's too much work. Look at my baby, though. I appreciate that it's like on the spine now. The title, Mandi Grace, numbering, you know, instead of just this gray nothingness. And then the black nothingness. And then the other book. Book 3 had things on the title, but not the first 2. This will be nice when I have the 3 of them, like, together professionally. Plus Isolation, which apparently is going to sit next to the other Return to Grace.